American Girl first reached out to me in about, I want to say it was the winter of 2024, like February, I feel like it. And they had reached out to me. I'd worked with American Girls before on a previous doll called Maritza Ochoa, who was part of their World by Us series. There were 3 dolls launched at that point, right after COVID lockdown, like 2021. So in 2024, fast forward, they had asked me, would you be interested in working on a brand new doll with us? And we want her to be Girl of the Year for 2026. The kind of only guidance I was given about her was that they wanted her to be a descendant of a previous doll, what I call one of the original OG American Girl dolls, Samantha Parkington, who was part of their collection, like I want to say the 1986, when all the historical dolls were first coming out. And I immediately went and started reading books about Samantha Parkington. And what stuck out to me about Samantha is something I definitely wanted to incorporate into Raquel's story, being that she was going to be a Mexican American and she was going to be launched in Hispanic Heritage Month, was that she really did speak up for things that bothered her in society. Wherever she saw an injustice, she spoke up. But not only spoke up, she also put action to those words. I've been a children's author for a good 12 years now, and all of my stories always sort of reflect the community that I came from, which is a Mexican American community in Kansas City in particular. I know a lot of people go, there's no Hispanics in Kansas City, but we're here, we exist. My family, we always had family reunions too. And that's what Raquel sort of embarks on in this story. She goes to a family reunion, meets all these cousins and uncles and aunts, and that was definitely part of my life. Another part of that Mexican American community is the sort of the entrepreneurship that we bring to the country, bringing our foods, our treats, our culture, and sharing it with other people and starting up shops. And that's what her parents ended up doing. I really wanted her parents to own like a paleta shop because I grew up eating ice cream. Every kid grows up eating ice cream, but in particular paletas, they're so delicious. They're healthy because they're made of real fruit. Okay, sorry, I sound like I'm selling paletas. I really had no idea that they were going to launch it during Hispanic Heritage Month. That was never part of our conversations. I just knew it was going to be 2026, so I assumed it would launch in January 2026. So when it launched in Hispanic Heritage Month, I thought it was a cool move, not on only a marketing standpoint, but the fact that Hispanics our community are going through a really tough time these days. And it doesn't feel like there's a lot to celebrate, honestly, in the world. What's interesting to me about Raquel, a couple of things. One is that she's a descendant of Samantha Parkington. And Samantha Parkington, her great-great-grandmother, lived in a time, was a 10-year-old girl growing up during the industrial age, at a time where children were working in factories. At this time and in this age, women were also marching in the streets just for the right to vote. That's the kind of time that Samantha Parkington, her great-grandmother, grew up in. And I hope it makes kids who read her story interested in that time as well. And don't forget the privileges and the liberties that they fought for us to be here, to have a cute little necklace and a little tote that says Raquel on it and even exist. So now coming back to Raquel, being of that sort of, those are her ancestors on one side of her family, that she speaks up in this book quite a bit for people and animals too. And I love that idea that we can gain strength from our heritage. We can gain strength from our ancestors, those who came before us, to get us through these tough times. And I hope young women, young girls out there who buy Raquel and love her story, I hope they also gather strength and inspiration to speak out when they feel safe, where they can, to put actions to words. If they walk away with that from this book and her story, I will feel like my job is done, that it's been good. There were so many books for so long that never featured Mexican American kids or Latino kids, and so now I'm just trying to write great books, page turners, that turn kids who maybe wouldn't read into lifelong readers, right? Because, today's readers, tomorrow's leaders, right? We want a smart, educated, literate civilization, don't we? And so I just hope ultimately that all kids become readers. But I do believe that when kids see themselves mirrored back, that it can really influence their reading habits. That they might say, "Hey, this kid's, from my community, and they celebrate these holidays like I do, or they eat these foods like I do, and maybe I'd like to read another book about that." And hopefully that carries on. And then there's those kids who never know any Mexican Americans, who may not know our culture and heritage, and maybe it opens a door for them and they get to step into our world for a little while and see our stories and see how much we have so much in common. It's been really almost emotionally overwhelming. I've had some people come up to me crying, thanking me as if I was all alone in creating her. And I always remind American girls involved, just never having dolls that looked like them and feeling like they were invisible. That their stories didn't matter, that their heritage didn't matter. I had a gentleman write me on LinkedIn, a man I've never met in my life, who wrote me and said he had tears come to his eyes when he saw the news about Raquel, and he was buying one for all of his granddaughters. That just means a lot. It means that she was definitely in demand for a long time. And I hope that American girls and all doll makers out there and story makers can continue to see this hopefully as a success and something to be continued and not slowed down, not stopped, but something that the public wants and people want to see. It took a while, but here it is, and it couldn't have come at a better time because we kind of need this little celebration, this little pick-me-up, something to feel good about, to feel seen, to see a story, that our stories matter, and just to have her out there, and hopefully everyone embraces her, not just the Mexican American community, but all the kids out there that love dolls.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.